The end of this year turned out to be extremely rich at all sorts of premieres. But more new products await us next year. Among the most interesting models, which we will see in early 2019, will be the Sony Xperia XZ4. Recently, it has become the subject of a big leak. Now we know almost everything about the future flagship of the Japanese. If the smartphone actually looks not exactly like the renderers that appeared on the internet last month, then we definitely will not get a copy of the previous generation. On the one hand, it's a pity, because we like the XZ3. But, on the other hand, if you look at a Sony smartphone in TAS market, you can conclude that they are very similar. So fresh design can be very useful. Appearance is one thing, but this time the Sony Xperia XZ4 specification has leaked onto the network, and if this is true, then the smartphone in this regard doesn't hide anything from us anymore. So why will Sony be surprised during the premiere? Perhaps a unique software, or some sort of new chip came. Almost certainly, we are still waiting for some kind of super slow motion, or even a more sophisticated scanner of 3D objects. But let's take a look at the Sony Xperia XZ4 specs. There are no surprises here. We are talking about the flagship on Android, so the smartphone uses components that correspond to other smartphones of this price shelf. The XZ4 will get the newest Snapdragon 855, and probably a Snapdragon X50 modem with 5G support. The chip will be paired with 6GB of RAM, in combination with 64GB or 256GB of data, of course, depending on which model you choose. Out of the box, Sony's flagship will work on Android 9 Pie and maybe it will be updated to Android 10Q immediately after the release. Also, there is a battery with a capacity of 3900 mAh on board, that is, a little more than the previous model. Sony Xperia XZ4, the curved screen will disappear. In its place a flat 6.55-inch LG display will appear with a 21:9 aspect ratio. Sony, of course, did not confirm this specification. It didn't even announce another phone at all. However, looking at the semi-annual publishing cycle of the new Xperia, February, MWC, September IFA, you can almost be sure that at the beginning of the year, in Barcelona, the company will show its new flagship.